lived in Waxahachie 35 years, grew up in Fort Worth. I'm an ex-educator. I taught school for 36 years. I taught from first grade to seniors in high school. Then I worked MHMR, which is, they don't use that term anymore, but I worked in MHMR for 18 years in Arlington and Corsicana. So I did a few things with kids. I did soccer, did all kinds of things. I grew up on a farm when I was growing up. Thought I was going to make money picking cotton, but that didn't work because my uncle sent us out there. The trick was to get us out of the house on his 500 acres to pick cotton, and he'd pay us so much back. So we were I was of the generation that you got out, and you got to play, and really didn't come home until it was dark. As I got older, I've always been healthy up until about the last 4 years. I've been fighting breast cancer for the last 2 years. Still here, so I think I'm fortunate and I'm determined. I've had 2 knee replacements. I've had 2 hip replacements. I have post in my teeth. I have cataract surgery and lens put in, so I feel like I'm kind of an artificial person. But I'm really proud to be here. After going through the cancer treatment, which I still am, my feet began to feel strange. My hands began to feel really strange. And I got where I just couldn't go back into the medical field and ask for any more surgery. The first thing I heard was I had carpal tunnel. Then it was some other kind of nerve damage in my elbow, and they just wanted to do surgery. And so, October, November of last year, I guess, I received this Waxahachie Now magazine. And in there, I kept seeing a notification or an advertisement from this company. And I'd reread it, and I'd read it, and I'd reread it, and then one thing caught my eye. It had a nerve sensation in the middle of your hand, which was my issue. My feet were numb. That would come and go. I never really lost all the feeling, but it started kind of moving on my leg a little bit, and I got a little concerned about it. So I thought, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Walk in there, talk to them, and see what they can provide or what they offer. Well, I went, must have gone the end of January, must have been it was the 1st of February. And just had been up to HEB or someplace and drove by it and thought, let me stop and just see if I can get an appointment. Well, parked my little car there and got out and went in. The delightful young lady said, what can we do for you? And I said, well, I'm here to see if I can get an appointment. And she said, well, let me look. She said, how about tomorrow? I said, tomorrow. And I kind of grinned to myself and I said, that'd be great. So I came in and I was evaluated, which was interesting. It was just amazing what they really ask you. They ask you what you're eating, they ask you what issues you have, and then they take you in and you take the x-rays, and I'm going, well, I can do all this. And so then my first appointment was almost less than a week away, and I started my 3 days a week. It's an interesting treatment. The first round, the first month you have it, you go 3 times a week. After the first 3 days, I went, well, I fell for this hook, line, and sinker. I couldn't tell any difference. And the young man that was the technician that was doing the treatment for me, we would start talking, and he said, you know, people don't give themselves a chance to really realize if there's any change. And we talked, and I said, well, you know, that's kind of true, because I wanted it to be, oh, you know, I had 3 treatments, you know, my goodness. It's like putting a Band-Aid on and you take it off and you've got a scab, you know, I wanted to see some difference. Well, after the second treatment, my legs were a lot different than they had been before. And I'd just been having a terrible time with my hands. And I have some days that I still have a terrible time with my hands. But the deal was that my feet were a lot better. I had better balance. I liked it because it was a complete program. They do ask you what you eat. They don't put you on a diet. You have to do that yourself. But you have to follow the guidelines. And if you do what they ask you to do, you can tell a difference. I can tell you that I have arthritis in my hands. That's a lot of my issues. But I think I was probably, and I'm a diabetic. I mean, you name it, and I had it, or I had had it. And it's all happened to me in the last 5 years. But I got where my hands hurt me so bad I'd wake up at night. I got where I couldn't do anything with them. I couldn't hold my fist like this. I could only do this. This hand was flat. This hand was like this. Now this hand is down. This hand is down. I can do things that with my hands that I haven't been able to do in several years. So I know for a fact that it made a difference. And as I went continually, my 3 days passed, that month passed, and not all of a sudden, none of it was all of a sudden, but I got where I was sleeping at night. I didn't wake up with an ache in my hands. I didn't have numbness in my feet anymore. And I didn't believe that it was really happening for me and to me. But I'll never forget that the day I went in and talked to the office, and she said to me, she looked me square in the eye, and she said, "You're worth it." I do. I give to everybody but myself. I give to the grandkids, I give to my kids, I give to my husband, I give to the students I've had, I give to everybody, and I'm always last in line. And I started thinking about it, and I thought, you know, you're right. She was right. I'm going to do this for myself, and I'm going to evaluate this through their help. This is a different place. It's not like a medical place that I've been to with my knees and my hands and my hips. They really care about you. I'm not standing up here because Abiel asked me to come up here. I'm standing here because I want you to realize that you're worth it, and that these folks really work hard to help you. I can't say enough about the organization. They really care about you. If I have an issue that my tech can't answer, they have these meetings. In fact, if it's something that really is bothersome, they'll have a meeting right then. I've seen them go from office to office, and then somebody will come out, or your tech will come back and say, well, we're going to try this next time. Or we think maybe, so you'll get it. If you don't get an answer that day, you will get an answer. Or they'll flat tell you, we don't know yet, but we'll fish around and find something. So it's not a come on. It's not a scam, which I thought maybe it was, but it's not. If you have enough faith in yourself, and you can give these people your confidence in doing what they ask you to do, I promise you, you'll have results. I don't know what kind, but more than likely positive. I have one right now, a red thing. I had to pull my truck out of the barn today and I scraped my arm. And I get these blood blister things that come up on my skin. And I can tell you that this one, because I do the treatments at home, and I do the light at home, that this will be gone in 5 days. Before, it took weeks. And it'll be gone because my circulation has improved so much. My toes aren't gonna, when I take those pictures on Thursday, my toes aren't gonna be dark blue like they were before, because at night, my feet are warm. I don't have to try to put heating pads on my feet to get them warm, because the circulation in my legs is a lot better. So, if you trust yourself, you have the means, they'll help you. And if you have pain, if you don't have pain, you wouldn't be here. If you weren't concerned about somebody else, you wouldn't be here. But I'm just telling you that if you do what they ask, you'll improve yourself. And I really believe in them. I'm in the last phase of the program, and I get tickled at myself. I'm going, what do I do now? Where am I going to go now? What am I going to do? Well, I call it my shake and bake treatment, because you go in there and they have these machines on you, and they can make you tremor a little bit because it's affecting your nerves. And then they put you in these red lights, which is hysterical, because you've got your 2 legs sticking out with red lights and your 2 arms are sticking out with red lights. And so that's the bake. But I don't ever want to make it in because it feels so good. It's warm, sometimes it gets a little hot, but I just tell the tech, I said, you can leave this on me, punch me in. I can sit there as long as you'll let me sit there. But the little ones that I have at home, they really do help me, and I use them faithfully. And I know that my circulation has improved. I'm up here to tell you that you're worth the expense. I finally was convinced I was worth the expense, and I'll pay it out. And I'm tickled to death to have the opportunity, and I'm lucky enough to have walked in there that day to say, let's see what we can do here. And I promise you that if they can't help you, they'll tell you. If they can, they'll tell you that too. So give them a break. I hope to see you up there. If there's any questions I can answer, I'll hang around for a while. Come on. No, come on.
Sure?
Sure.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. We had to